Alright guys, welcome back to Frugal Homestead, and today we're going to talk about one of our favorite subjects on this channel, firewood. Now, many of you have probably seen my video about the firewood blocks. We do need to discuss that today, but if you're a long-time subscriber to this channel, you'll see that for 2 years I've had a giant pile of sycamore we've been eating away at down here on the lot. We finally got most of it processed through. Actually, some of that stuff was huge and a pain in the butt, but we need to talk about what's going on here with firewood, what we are buying or not buying, and how we plan to move forward, because times have changed. And at the end of this video, you're going to want to be here because we're going to talk about some of the commenters that have had their fair share to say, and I'm going to respond back to them. So, to start off the video, I want to talk about the fact that I don't waste wood, all right? So when I made the video, which has almost 500,000 views on these firewood blocks, my intentions were I was going to buy these, but if a tree falls across the lane or falls across the road here when my neighbors need to get out, I'm not going to just push it over the hill and not cut it up and use it for firewood. Just like I wasn't going to waste the wood I had here on the lot, which is all this sycamore that I'm going to need. I'm still going to process wood if it's in my way. I'm just not going to go out and cut down dead trees, or cut down live trees for that matter, for no reason. It was more cost efficient just to go buy the blocks and save the time. Now that also has to be taken with that I'm building a tiny house, remodeling our old home, getting ready to do all these things. Well, a lot has happened since then. We've got gas going through the roof, prices on everything going up. But the other thing that we had to realize is I have 2 places to heat this winter. That's double the work. So we have started this pile that's behind me for the tiny house. And then I'm working on the pile up there, and already have brought in a few loads of block up there, as well as cut up some old pine logs that I found lying around into chunks that I'll just throw in to let them burn all day long. It's a start. I'm definitely not where I need to be at this time of year, but all you can do is keep working and moving forward. Now, I'm guessing, just off the top of my head, with the system I'm putting in place for the tiny house, we're going to burn somewhere around 4 or 5 cords. Now, here behind me, we have probably 2.5 cords, counting what's in the bends on the end. So I will be sectioning off behind this with some fencing and filling it in with a mixture of wood and block to fill up the rest in order to have enough to get through the winter in the tiny house. Now, as far as heating the other home, our old home, that's going to get heated at a much lower level this year. We're not going to be trying to keep it, 72, 75 degrees in there all year long, because nobody will actually be living there. I will just be in there remodeling it. So as long as I keep it about 60-ish in there, and if I'm actually working in there, I'll probably just kick on electric heater if I'm cold. There's really no point in heating it to a high level if no one's actually living in it. You want to keep it warm enough to keep the pipes from freezing, but little more than that. Now, I have to say that after that video got 500,000 views, I really hope it helps some people to open their mind up to different ways and different things to burn and different resources to get. The video was intended to be helpful for people of age, or people that live in an area or don't have property that has woods or access to firewood, as well as to people that maybe have some chronic injuries and are coming to the point where they cannot no longer go out and get the firewood physically. Maybe an older couple that maybe their kids moved out and they don't have help anymore and they just can't do the volume. Just to give people resources. And I got a lot of backlash for that. And I'll be honest with you, that was fine. I could never have dreamed it would have done 500,000 views already, but it did. So clearly people want to have different ideas and outlooks on how to do this. And a lot of the feedback was really good. And the core audience I was going out for came out in droves commenting about how beneficial this was and such a good idea. And the other options I mentioned, like slab wood and other things, might be something they can find in their area. I've actually had a few reach out to me on social media and tell me they found the dowels, like the centers of the logs that they sell, and are burning that now, and they're very happy with it. So I'm glad to see that it worked out and some people got some help out of it. But with that said, you're always going to have a few that are either A, greedy, or selfish, or just keyboard warriors. One of the big comments I got a lot is, thanks a lot. Now nobody's gonna be able to get any. Let me tell you something, I have been out there. That pile is bigger than I have ever seen it. Now, that said, it may not be that way everywhere, but it doesn't have anything particularly to do with me and my little video. I'm a drop in the bucket. You can't blame a worldwide shortage on firewood because I made a video. Let's be real, guys. I don't have that kind of power. I don't have that kind of reach. The reality is that everyone sees energy prices going up. Everyone realizes that electric and gas is going to be much more expensive here. Everyone understands that fuel is more expensive. What everyone doesn't understand is wood's more expensive. So let me explain this using my mill as an example. My mill used to pay $35 a ton for logs. We would buy the log blocks like this for $30 or $35 a ton, depending upon what time of year it was. If they had a huge pile in dead of summer, you might get them for $30. By the time fall came around, you were paying $35, period. This year, these are now $45 a ton. And you could say, well, Tony, see, you made a video, so they raised the prices. No, guys. Because the same mill, if I haul a log in now, as of last week, it's $65 a ton for logs. That's inflation, guys. That's how it works. Price goes up in raw material, byproduct material goes up to match. They're trying to offset these cutoffs, this extra material. For every log they bring in, they're trying to make the maximum amount of profit. But the profit is dictated and the price is dictated by demand as well as your cost of your raw material. If I'm buying sheets of plywood and I only need 6-foot sections of them, I got 2 foot left over. If I'm buying them for $10, then I can sell the extra, 2 foot for $1 or $2. But if I'm paying $30 like I am now, I'm gonna sell those 2 foot for more. That's just business. That's trying to recoup your money. You're paying X amount per square foot. You need to sell it for X amount square foot more if the price goes up. That's how it works. Supply and demand and inflation. One thing I will say is I have very limited time, so I will be going out and buying more loads just because of the fact that I have to have wood and I have so much going on. With that said, I do want you to realize that it's not as cost effective as it was for me anymore, because one truckload is almost $40 the way I'm heaping it up now. But you add in gas and you're around $50 because my truck's big and it uses a lot of gas, and I have to actually get on the highway to come home and then go a bunch of back curvy roads. That's just the way the mill is for me. Now, with that said, the big thing that made me not want to do regular firewood because it wasn't cost effective was time, because my time is valuable, and also because I ain't getting no younger. I mean, I'm like 46 years old, guys. I've been doing construction work and physical labor my entire life. The back ain't as strong as it used to be. But with my wood burner, I have one advantage that a lot of people don't. It can hold a 22-inch log, and I mean, it can hold a big log through the door. I mean, it can hold a monster. A lot of people don't have that. And I also have a lot of dead standing timber, but my property's already been logged. So while I still have some big trees, a lot of my trees are younger. Now, if I went in the woods and did nothing but cut, just rounds, just dead trees that would just fit into my wood burner, brought them up and stacked them and dropped them in all year, then it's way more cost effective than this. Way more cost effective. Because in the time it takes me to go to the mill and come back, and the $50 charge, I can already go over my hill in my truck, cut it, bring it back up, and be back here in a way shorter amount of time, way less gas used, and no $50. The difference is when I sit up here and I'm splitting it like an idiot, because that takes time, that takes more fuel. So there is a way that I can cut my own wood and not work as hard. Now, that's something for me to consider in the future if gas prices don't decrease. Right now I'm just basically going at every end possible trying to get the wood in. So this is not a good reference year for what's viable and what's best for us. And what's best for you may be different. So sadly, there's no exact answer of what's best. Could it be regular firewood? Could it be split firewood? Could it be block firewood? I don't have an answer of what's most cost effective for us, so I definitely can't tell you what's most cost effective for you, because your situation is completely different from mine. But what I can share with you is to open your mind, find resources that are most beneficial to you. It's gonna be a cold winter. Nobody wants to be giving all their money away to the gas and electric company. Find ways to keep you and your family safe and warm this winter. I mean, realistically, spending a few dollars to buy wood, whether it's split or block, is never really a bad thing. It's an investment in heat and keeping your family safe and warm. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do want to leave you with one closing thought. You're valuable. Your body, your time, your intensity, your stress, and even the items that help you in your everyday life, be it your truck, your chainsaw, all that has value. Find out what saves your value the most and do it. Find out what makes you happy and do it. Life is too short to slave and not be happy. Find a way to be happy that fits your life. And with that said, and I don't know why you wouldn't have by now, go down, hit the subscribe button and join the family. Hit the notification bell so you see all of our upcoming videos. If you haven't already, go down and join us in the comments. Let's talk about it some more. What are you doing this year? Do you have a new game plan that's different from how you used to do it? I'd love to hear about it. Always open to new ideas. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.